Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. This is Mandemic. Today we are going to go after Taylor the Fiend again. He is a very prolific misogynist on YouTube. He does videos and bashes women. Basically they can't do any right. So there's any kind of relationship issues or people are breaking up or they have problems. Taylor Fiend's the kind of person that blames them for everything and thinks they're the cause of it and they're the root of all evil, that kind of stuff. Now, I'm personally not either pro-woman or pro-man. I'm pro-nice people. And I have no problem with coming out and calling a woman out for acting up, same as I don't for calling a man for acting up. So that's what I'm here to do today. Is I am cold watching this. That means that I haven't actually seen the video. Now, you'll see that I played like the first couple of seconds. Well, actually, I downloaded, put it on VLC. But I had to watch the first like 15, 20 seconds to balance out audio. But other than that, I never really watched it. So in this one, what I take he's doing, it's not going to be a standard. That was weird. It's not going to be a standard where he watches the video. What this looks like is that he is responding to a man writing a post about his woman and how I guess she left him because she thinks she could do better. So let's just get into it. That's all I absolutely know right now. And let's see, what is going on with the... Oh, is it because my mic is... Let me move my mic like that. Maybe it's seeing my mic and trying to... But yeah, that's right. I haven't seen it do that. All right, let's get into it. Ooh, there's the red flag. So you have seen what we are about. What I'm starting to do now is anytime the person of focus, the person in the video, anytime they say something that isn't backed by the data in front of them, that doesn't have the proof in front of them, if they're just assuming, or if they're just, or lying, just flat out lying, basically, if they can't back up the data with what's on the video and they're just talking shit, then I call them out on it. I red flag them. It goes like this. That's how it goes. So anytime, blah, 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 women suck. There you go. I am going to sooner or later put a little count here. So every time that goes off, it sets a count for a red flag. So we'll see how many red flags there are. I just assume there's going to be a lot because that's what Taylor the Fiend does. All right, let's get started on this.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, I have an important story for you here today. This one is titled, Husband Divorces His Wife After He Finds Out That His Wife Was quote-unquote settling. Okay, so this is a wife who thinks that she can do better than her husband. And this is why a lot of women actually end up breaking up with their boyfriends or husbands and things like this, is because they think that they can do better, okay? Maybe it's because they were out partying all throughout their 20s and 30s. Maybe it's because they've been with a whole bunch of dudes. These things are oftentimes one and the same. But you'll end up with a situation where, because a woman has dated Chad before, okay, because she slept with a bunch of dudes before, it's going to be very hard for her to pair bond and actually view her current significant other as anything other than less than what she was previously with. It's actually disgusting, guys. This is honestly why the divorce rates absolutely skyrocket when you look at the amount of individuals somebody has been with, particularly women, guys. Because honestly, women are the ones who are leaving marriages. But let's jump into
They're both leaving marriages, so I'm not going to red flag that because everybody's leaving marriages.
He finds out that she was quote-unquote settling. So this is a 35-year-old dude. I, a 35-year-old male, thought we had a strong, loving marriage. We'd been married for 5 years.
All right, long, strong, loving marriage, married for 5 years. I do not red flag the man that's doing the writing now, the focus. I'm not going to red flag him because, unless he says something so obviously stupid. But other than that, this is his story. I'm just primarily red flagging Taylor and his response to them and the lack of information that he usually has when he makes bold claims and statements. So let's get into it.
Together for almost 7. So they got married in 2 years. So they got married when he was around 30. and they were together since he was 28. So married when she was 28, together since she was 26. Okay. So again, what was this woman doing between 18 and 26? This is the problem, guys, right? You start to marry these women and take these women seriously who have been screwing around for, let's just call it 8 years. So
no evidence of that.
We met through mutual friends, hit it off quickly, and things just clicked. We had the same sense of humor, blah, blah, all the stuff that he thinks, you know. I thought she was the one, basically. She wasn't the kind of person to throw big emotional declarations around, but I always assumed she felt the same way about me that I did her. I wasn't naive. I knew we all have pasts, but I figured we were choosing each other for the right reasons. So this guy knows, right? Look at this. I knew we all have pasts. I wasn't naive, he said. So what does this translate to? I knew she was a 304.
Another red flag coming.
I knew she was with a whole bunch of dudes previously, but I married her
back that
anyway.
up because I talked over it.
Right? Look at this. I knew we all have pasts. I wasn't naive, he said. So what does this translate to? I knew she was a 304. I knew she was with a whole bunch of dudes previously, but I married her anyway. She doesn't tell me she loves me a lot.
Too easy,
she
man.
doesn't do these sorts of declarations. Okay, but I married her despite the fact that she didn't seem so emotionally invested, and I married her despite the fact that she had been with a bunch of dudes before. So
Seriously.
good luck with that, my friend. And people will say you don't like women. Oh, you don't like women because you don't want to marry these people. It's like, it makes no sense, man. I wish women had more respect for themselves. I really do. Okay, but I'm somehow the one that doesn't like women, apparently. Let's continue.
Everything that he says makes you believe he doesn't like women. Makes you believe that he absolutely disrespects it. He has no respect for them whatsoever. He truly believes women are in this class of demons, of these just really awful, just naturally, and it's native within their function to be awful human beings. He does this all the time. I mean, he says, this guy wrote, I knew we all have pasts. There's nothing wrong with that. All he was saying basically is, I'm not going to delve into hers. Hers past is hers, and he's going to respect that. That's all that says. That's it. So, but Taylor then comes out and says, oh, you knew she was a 304. It's absolute nuts, man. Let's get into this. Let's get back into this.
Yeah. Last month, she left her laptop open. I wasn't snooping, but I saw a group chat open with her close friends, a tight-knit circle she's known since university. So she's a college-educated woman. Guys, whenever I see this, by the way, right, is like, I understand that some degrees are useful, but universities these days, for the most part, are just giant indoctrination camps. If you actually look at the divorce statistics, the odds of a woman divorcing you goes up once she's quote-unquote educated.
He's not wrong. I can't red flag that. I would like to think that the more educated a woman is, the less likely they are to divorce. That those two data points don't correlate, but they do. And the reason why, and part of the reason why, is because a more intelligent woman is capable of being more independent. She has more choice. Where before, an uneducated woman usually depended on the husband. Even if he wasn't educated, he usually had the higher paying job. And a low educated, a woman with low education usually didn't get good jobs. They usually, worked as babysitters or in restaurants or behind the till, behind a cash register somewhere. He's not wrong in this.
So I think we know what that means. He got curious. He scrolled up a little in their group chat. They were talking about someone from their past. Apparently one of her old flings was getting married, and it sparked a whole conversation about what could have been. My wife had sent this. I mean, we all had our wild days. I would have married some other dude in a heartbeat if he'd been serious, but he wasn't. So here I am. It's not like I settled, but let's be real. Blah, blah, blah was the safe bet. Okay. So look at this. She would have married the other guy if the other guy actually wanted anything serious with her. But instead, she's marrying this guy, and he was the quote-unquote safe bet. And she's saying, it's not like I settled, but that's what she's saying. But let's be real, he was the safe bet. Imagine seeing this as the husband, by the way, because honestly, guys, this is how, right? Although some women do not say this out loud, most women will not say this out loud. This is how a lot of them think after they've been with some dude who they really, really liked, but couldn't get a relationship out of him, or couldn't get marriage out of him, couldn't get the next stage of commitment. The problem is when your average man comes along next and she needs that relationship because she needs the security, she doesn't want to pay rent anymore, maybe she wants to have kids, maybe she wants to get married so people stop looking at her weird at the family functions or whatever. You know, the average guy pales in comparison to what she thought she could have had, so she doesn't respect him. She thinks that she deserves more, that she's quote unquote settling, even though, right? How
Let's just back it up a little bit. All right.
people stop looking at her weird at the family functions or whatever.
Excuse me.
You know, the average guy pales in comparison to what she thought she could have had, so she doesn't respect him. She thinks that she deserves more, that she's quote unquote settling, even though, right? How funny is this? Even though she couldn't even get a relationship from the previous guy anyway. So he says,
because she couldn't get a relationship with the previous guy, doesn't make her sad or anything like that. And now what she said was that, and that wasn't great. I would like to argue that it's outside, and he doesn't have the context, but let's be honest, it is what it is. Now, she did say that she didn't settle. That means that there's more to it than just safety. But let's brass tacks this for a bit. If I want to be with someone, there is a level of settling that has to occur. And the reason why is this, is you do want safety for the most part. I mean, unless you're 20 years old or 18 years old and you think, a good relationship is going out and doing stupid shit and being dangerous and nothing but clubs all night and drugs and shit like that. Other than that, you're going to want some level of safety, and you want a safe bet. I mean, who wants a relationship that they know is going to end? Why would you even bother being in it? So it's not like I settled, but let's be real. The guy was the safe bet. Okay. I mean, that's not great to hear, but it's not the worst thing either. I mean, he said his stomach dropped. That's because he wasn't prepared for something like this. Most likely he's not a grown-up. He's an adult, but he's not a grown-up. He isn't able to handle this type of situation, this type of discovery, probably very well. It's usually an extreme response that occurs, and they move on completely. They just end stuff because he's going to get upset. He is not going to know how to now communicate with her. She isn't going to be able to communicate with him properly. You could just see that this is just going to be a disaster in the making. So let's see what happens.
They're staring at those words for a good 5 minutes. I wasn't angry at first. I don't know how this dude isn't angry. He's like, I wasn't angry at first. I was just numb. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I kept reading.
Very intelligent.
My man, what do you mean jump to conclusions? You have everything you need there to make a conclusion. What are you talking about?
He's not wrong here. I won't red flag
sometimes, man.
But he could.
I didn't want to jump to any conclusions like my wife was settling, even though that's exactly what she said. So I kept reading. It makes no sense. The conversation went on. Her friends kind of danced around it. Some of them even made jokes, and she doubled down. He's a great guy, stable, kind, just not someone I ever imagined myself wanting. More like someone I knew I should be with. Guys, I am not joking when I say this.
I don't know what Taylor's about to say, but I am surprised by how much I'm probably going to agree with it. Because this second statement here was just like, dude, this is typical settling. This really is typical settling. He's a great guy. I mean, he's, as far as person, he's not going to hit me. He's going to treat me with respect. He's stable. He's kind. Just not, basically, he's milquetoast. This is the kind of woman that look, when you're around your friends, some of you've had a group that you've had for a very long time and is close knit. People change within the group. And what I mean by that is like, you could still be you outside the group, but once you get in this, when you go back into this scene, this group, you put on a different helmet. It's like you become someone else just for this scene, just for this environment. And this woman obviously does this in this environment, in this talk group with her other friends. And she's back in the environment where she completely feels fully trusted, where she can say what's in her head, and what looks to be no holes barred. She has no filter as far as that goes. I mean, she obviously cares for this guy and she likes him, and she respects him enough. I know I'm very loose with this. She respects him enough that she doesn't say this shit to him because he's obviously shocked and surprised. So she must really like being around him. It's just obviously with this, she's comparing her existence with what could have been. Basically, she's living a fantasy world. And this is one thing Taylor might have said a million times, but I will fully agree with. Women live emotionally, men live logically. It is a standard. It's not a misogynistic thing. It is a standard. Women are so much more in touch with their emotions, which they actually promote. Women say this about themselves. It says, yes, we're very much more in tune with our emotional side than men are. But then you can't say that and then not say that your decisions are more emotionally based than men's. They are, because you're closer to them. So to say that you have all these emotions and you're better at connecting with them than men are, well, your decisions are going to be based on your emotions more often than a man's would. It's just logic. It just is what it is. It's science, folks. So she probably can be very emotional in this group and say exactly what she feels. Now, there is a difference between feeling something and knowing something. You could think something in your mind, but you don't act on it because you know that if you acted on it, it would be the wrong thing to do. She obviously knows that by acting on her desire, which might just be a fantasy, might not actually be something she wants anymore. She's just talking about what could have been. Maybe by not acting on it, she's showing her maturity by not acting on those emotions, because it's not like it's right at the surface. But we're not done yet. Obviously, the story's not over, so let's see what else is going on. So again, I don't know if I'm going to disagree. You might not be getting a red flag for me for Taylor on this next section. All right, so we just read the little purple statement right there that's highlighted.
I have heard women say this crap before. I genuinely have. I have heard women get in a relationship with a dude and then sit there and say that the reason they're with the dude is because he was the one she should have gone with from the beginning because he's the safe choice. It's like, you can't make this crap up, man. I really don't think that men think like this, by the way. We really don't.
We really,
like, it takes very little to make a guy happy. And
we don't think
general,
like that. He's right.
Men don't feel like they're settling. They really don't.
I've never felt like
it's crazy how this actually works.
I've never.
So this is why, by the way, I say, like, being called a great guy, being called a good man or boyfriend material is almost an insult.
He's not wrong. God, I can't believe that I was going to be bashing on Taylor the Fiend, but he's got a lot less red flags than he did the last video. I'll tell you that. He's not wrong. You tell me I'm a great guy. I already know I'm a great guy, but you do it in the context of us being in a relationship. Ugh. It's like when you're as a guy, when your woman comes up to you in this nice dress and says, "How do I look?" And you say, "You look nice." Ah, I look nice. Thank you. See, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, I'm a great guy. Great guys are friends. Great guys belong in the friend zone. Taylor's not wrong. I'm a very humble man. I'm proud. And I don't mind agreeing with Taylor as long as what Taylor says is logical and to the point. It's most of the stuff he doesn't say is logical and to the point, and it's not true. But this man, me and him are in agreement.
At a certain point. Because it's just kind of like, oh, he's the naive guy who's going to give me what I want and everything's going to be fine. He's not exciting, right? He's not attractive to me, but he's stable. It's such an insult. It's a real slap in the face. It's like a backhanded compliment. For the next few days, couple of days, he acted normal, but everything felt off. He couldn't look at her the same. Every time she smiled at me, every time she reached my hand, I felt this weird sense of detachment, like I was living in someone else's life.
Yeah, I just can't trust.
Eventually, I brought it up and told her I'd seen the chat. She went pale. At first, she tried to spin it, said it was just harmless venting with her friends, that everyone says dumb stuff in private. She apologized, said she loved me, but didn't mean it that way. But how else could she mean it?
Correct.
So we've got the downplaying.
There isn't any other way. It is what it is.
We've got the shifting around. Okay, it was just harmless venting. What's the word? Plausible deniability, guys, really. It's just trying to minimize crap. So he said,
Plausible deniability is when you intentionally are ignorant on a subject. So if it does come back to bite people or it does come back negative, it's not going to affect you. This isn't plausible deniability.
told her I needed space to think, stayed with my brother a few nights, thought long and hard about whether I could move past it, and the answer was no, because it wasn't just one comment, it was how she truly saw me. Not as a partner, not as a man she actually deeply loved, but as a fallback plan when her preferred life didn't pan out. So I filed for divorce. Honestly, fair enough, my man. Fair enough. So she's begging me to reconsider. Since then, she's done a complete 180, crying, texting, showing up at my door, saying she made a huge mistake, that she didn't realize how it would sound, that she loves me, blah, blah, blah. She wants to fix it. But he says, I can't hear it. I can't unknow it. She didn't pick me because she wanted me. She picked me because I was safe. And honestly, I'd rather be alone than be someone's second or third choice.
He's right. Jesus Christ. God, this video did not turn out the way I thought it'd be.
Just by the way, this dude was probably way lower than second or third choice. She's probably been with many dudes who she couldn't get commitment out of. That's really what it is.
So gotta get the flags where they do.
Let's look at this for a second. This guy divorces her ass, fair enough. What does she do? She does the crying, texting, showing up at the door. And make no mistake, the reason why she's doing this is because she doesn't want to lose her safe option, okay? She doesn't want to lose the golden goose.
I'm red flagging that real quick.
Guy who's providing for her despite her reckless past and all
right. Reckless past.
These things. Okay, and this is why the guy was chosen in the first place, because he was safe, because he was a reliable choice, because he was a good man who wouldn't cheat and who would give her commitment. And then what did she decide to do with it? But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments if you've ever been.
All right, that's not him. That was a very quick episode. All right. Again, she said what she said. She said what she said because she was in a private chat. It wasn't something she was going to act on. It wasn't something she was going to do anything about. She probably did love that man in her own way, but she was the chat they were talking fantasy. Now, personally, even if I was in a group that was just me and the guys, I'm not the kind of person to talk bad about the person I'm with. I'm just not going to do that because it makes me look less. It makes me look like somebody that is so unserious about a relationship. I'm willing to be with someone that I consider second best. And that's not cool. You don't do that. So this woman did something that was wrong. But let's be honest, a lot of adults act like children. A lot of adults are still children. Just legally they're adults. And she did some stupid shit. And she took what was inside her head and she brought it out. Now, do my partner that I'm currently with, love her to bits. Absolutely love her to bits. We talk all the time. We get in our little arguments and stuff, but we talk it out. Have I had better times with other women in the past? And I'm not even going to define what better times mean. It just means, have I had instances where that was better than what I have now? Of course. Do I have instances where what I have now is better than what I had then? Unbelievably, yes. So there's this balancing of reality and fantasy, of what was and what is. And the easiest trap to get into is by pining on something that you don't have, pining on the past, on what could have been. Maybe it's a stoic thing. Maybe it's just a man thing. It's a logic thing. I can't change what was. I can't change what wasn't. I can't change what could have been and what didn't happen. All I can do is be in the now. So I don't think like, what if? I mean, it all, people do think what if, but I don't consider that something that I would even have a community. I wouldn't even talk to anybody else about. Even I have some guy friends, and if that conversation ever came up, and like, hey, do you remember what's in it? Say yes. Well, what happens if that? I said, I don't care. In similar situations, I've done the exact same thing. I said, I don't care because I can't do anything about it. It doesn't exist. I'm not going to suppose what coulda, shoulda, woulda. It isn't. So I'm focusing on the now. And that man's divorce, I'm going to put all the rights and what he is allowed to do. I'm putting all that bullshit to the side because I do my best not to argue not to argue the minority. The exception. I argue the rule. So the exception is that he can kind of do whatever he wants. The rule is he was married. That came up. And one wonders if that is the only thing that happened, which is a big thing. Don't get me wrong. It's a big fucking thing. But if that is the only thing that happened, did he overdo it? I would personally say yes. But I also don't know anything that came after except the fact what he said, that she really tried. He literally just couldn't get past. I mean, what kind of relationship? What was he feeling on the inside? What were there those silent, those quiet little voices that told him, hey, something isn't right here. Something just doesn't feel. I'm not getting the love. I'm getting the attention. I'm getting the affection. I'm not really getting the love. That deep stuff, that stuff that keeps me wanting to come back. Not the stuff that just feeds me during the day, but the thing that feeds me over the long term. That's what love is. It's not the quick doses. It's the long, steady, stable feeling, the knowing that the relationship you have is deeper than just the day-to-day, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Got to go to work. And, where's my lunch? Kind of thing. I appreciate you guys. This was a short one. It's only like 27, 30 minutes. I got to go pick up some kids soon. So I'm telling you, I got a microphone right here. And I don't know if this is like seeing it. I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, it's getting some fuzzies. Thank you again for joining me. You guys have a great day. And I just can't believe that I agree with Taylor the Fiend on most of this. All right. Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.